I have a message for the men of Houston, Texas. Specifically the ones that are 30 plus and single. If you are looking to change that, there is a place with tons of women waiting for you. Friday, January 9th at Eberhard Social House, there is a Crush Club event that is meant for single people to meet other single people. And this message is just for the men because the women have sold out. So now it's just a conversation between the fellas. Women selling out tells us one thing. The women are waiting for you. So if you are looking for the place where the 30 plus single women are at, Eberhard Social House on Friday night is your best bet. We are asking guests to dress up for this event. There's going to be complimentary champagne throughout the evening, complimentary hors d'oeuvres throughout the evening. If you are looking to impress the ladies, this is your spot. Tickets can be found in the Crush Club bio on Instagram and TikTok. And so if you are a 30 plus male and single in Houston, Texas, and you're looking to change that, Crush Club is the place for you Friday night. Grab a ticket in the bio. Let's go. I'll see you there.
And this is what I mean by being catered to women. It's sold out because this is the stuff that women like to do. Like that's this stuff that, yeah, I'm trying to read the comments here. One guy says, I'm not going to do it anymore. Now you do have one guy here that says, I'm sending this to my boys, but this is stuff that women like to do. Not saying that men don't like to get dressed up, but we're serving hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that. There's a clip that has, it's put on by a church, but you have football in the background. You have a nice little icebreaker. They serving different kinds of wings. So it's all set up. It's a little bit more casual, a little bit more laid back. It's got stuff that men would like to do. Right. So we're trying to encourage the men to come. We got women going to come. They're not going to watch football. They coming to mingle with the men, but we're trying to get the men to come. So we put on some football games. So if a man is not talking to anybody, he can watch the football game. Okay. So y'all don't want to talk to nobody. All right, then let's do a little icebreaker. Let's do a little bingo. Right. So we going to get you mixing and mingling. You can watch football. You can go and get your wings and all that stuff. But we're going to do this little icebreaker. That's the type of stuff that a man is probably going to be more apt or more inclined to go to. Plus that event, and you're going to see here in a minute, that event was, I think, $10, right? Men ain't into spending a whole bunch of money getting dressed up to walk in there and get rejected by 2s and 3s.
A few nutrition facts about Lara. She is 35. She's straight, which is a shame because there's a lot of women here and no men.
That girl put her name tag on her thigh, and she'd be upset if a man looked down there. Oh, you staring too long. Oh man, you a pervert.
So I went to another singles event. Let's talk about it. First, it was a church event, but it was not a church event, if that makes sense. So my church sponsored it and arranged and organized everything, but we were at the Cosm up in the colony watching college football games. There was also a limit on tickets. Of course, the women's tickets sold out, and they were still saying, hey, we need more brothers to show up. Tickets were only $10, and it came with food. They gave us different flavors of chicken wings, plus we had pizza and water. If you wanted to buy anything else, that was on your own dime. Also of note, since it was put on by the church, you could assume that most of the attendees went to the church also, unless they came along with a friend. And a very special note, this was only for 35 and up. So those who've been following me for a while know my rule. If your birth year starts with 2, there's nothing we can do. You got to be born before 2000. So them having the cap at 35 and up, that also set the audience for the event. And I thought this was very cool. They also provided an icebreaker. So when we came in, we were given a sheet of paper, and the intention was for us to go to everyone, men and women, and get them to either put their name down if they matched one of the boxes or if they knew the answer to one of the trivia questions. So for those who aren't really good at initiating conversations or just broaching topics in conversation, this was a good way to launch you off. And y'all know that I'm big on people watching and noticing patterns in behavior. And I've noticed that almost every singles event that I've gone to, that towards the end of things, when things have died down, unless you have found somebody that you've gotten, you guys are linking up, men will sit with men and women will sit with women. And it's either because A, you didn't see anybody who really caught your eye. B, you've already made your move and it's time, you just waiting for things to see what happens. Or C, somebody has caught your eye, but you don't want to make any moves. So you're just sitting there hoping they're going to come over to you. And so, for me, it's funny because I didn't drive out to this event just to sit with other dudes. Yeah, I'm open to making more male friends, but that was not my goal. There are some beautiful women at both services in my church. No. So singles event are what you make of them. I don't understand why more men don't go to them because they can be fruitful.
I don't know if I have a problem with this, to be honest. I mean, they had stuff for men to do. I mean, you can watch the game. They had we're going to feed you. It's, it don't cost that much. It's $10. I might go to that, and I'm married. Like trying to figure out how not to lie, but I don't know. I mean, you going to feed me wings? All I have to do is really buy a drink or two. You might, chat somebody up, but shoot, I'm watching college football. I mean, wings and football, how can you beat that? And then, okay, let's get to know each other. All right, so we're gonna have a little icebreaker. I'm really not mad at that.
Why successful men stay single. It's often the same mechanism that makes men savage in the workplace that also makes them extremely intelligent when it comes to women. For example, successful men know how to sniff out desperation and entitlement. Most women want their lifestyle, not them, so they become experts at sniffing that shit. They don't settle for less than they deserve because success teaches you that your worth is non-negotiable. Sounds crude, but they prioritize purpose over pussy. Purpose is for life. Pussy comes and goes. Ready to optimize for quality women? If so, comment quality below and I'll send you my complete system for doing just that.
It's like society, it's like they try to pressure you to think that you need to have a family, you need to be settled down, have kids, you immature. No. You right where you need to be. You know what I'm saying? You right where you need to be, man. If you got some motion going on or you got you a good job, you got your own spot, you ain't got no kids, bro, you winning. And even if you do got kids, you get into the bag and you take care of your kids, they still gonna choose you. You still gonna get chose out here. But I'm just speaking to the guys that might feel pressured or people constantly in their head about they need to do this, they need to have kids, they need, like, bro. I know it's a lot of dudes that slipped up and had accidents and got their baby mama pregnant and all that stuff, but it's a lot of dudes, man. They tell me, they was like, man, I was pressured into getting married. I was pressured into having kids. My family put pressure on me. My girl put pressure on me. It's like, yeah, that's out. Don't do it until you're ready, man.
Hot take, singles events are one of the most underrated ways to meet single women. I'm not talking about cringy speed dating in a Hilton ballroom. It's 2025. The game has changed. One of my personal favorites is Pitch a Friend, where people give short, funny PowerPoint presentations pitching a single friend. I'm not affiliated with Pitch a Friend, this is unsponsored, but their events draw in hundreds of singles and their audience tends to skew heavily female and cute. So if you're single, look up Pitch a Friend and events like this in your city.
That's because all y'all wearing them ugly ass baggy jeans. Why do women wear ugly ass man pants and expect to be attractive? And before y'all be like, we do this for us, they literally made a video complaining about how no men are approaching them. But you're wearing those ugly ass baggy ass pants. You're literally wearing the lesbian attire, and you wonder why men are treating you like lesbians. Like, for real, like why are y'all so obsessed with being ugly? Like, y'all be fine as hell, but you be obsessed with being ugly, wearing big ass clothes. You be getting all types of stupid ass piercings on your face. I know that's ironic coming from me with one nose ring, but I only got one. You women be having 3 nose rings, and then one of them's fucking dangling and shit. And plus, let's keep it a beam. We like ass. I can't tell what your ass shaped like in them big ass pants. I finna go hit on somebody with a big ass so I can tell what it's shaped like.
I got on here and made a video saying that the club is for single people and people in relationships shouldn't be at clubs and bars alone without their significant other. And I got a whole bunch of comments from cheaters saying, oh, so we're not allowed to go out and have a good time? I didn't say that. I said, don't go to clubs and bars where you know single people are trying to hook up. Don't put yourself in position to cheat. You can go anywhere else. You can do anything else. Not nightclubs and bars if you're in a relationship. I mean, of course you can do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not the police. I'm just saying that you're putting yourself in a position to cheat. Like, and I would never do that if I was in a relationship. I wouldn't put myself in a position to cheat. For example, there's certain situations I wouldn't find myself in if I was in a relationship. Let's say my homeboy was throwing a party and I was like, all right, cool, who's gonna be there? He's like, oh, a whole bunch of, I don't know, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are gonna be there. And then it's gonna be me and you. I would never cheat in the first place. But if my homie told me that a whole bunch of Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders were gonna be at this party and it was just gonna be me and him and they were all pulling up, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go, because why would I put myself in a position to where I could cheat? And why would I put myself in a position to where my partner could feel uncomfortable that I could cheat? You know what I mean? Another thing I wouldn't do if I was in a relationship. Let's say I was going through a hard time in life and yada, 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 right? And maybe my girlfriend was busy. I would never call up one of my homegirls in the middle of the night, maybe, I don't know, 2 a.m. and be like, life is so hard. You like come over so we can talk. I just need somebody to talk to. First of all, I would never cheat. But why would I put myself in a position to where I could cheat? Now let's go to the clubs and the bars. I'm going to be under the influence, which augments my ability to make good decisions. And then I'm around a whole bunch of half-naked women, or if you're a woman, around a bunch of horny men who are actively trying to get at you, whether you're in a relationship or not. They don't care. So I'm around a whole bunch of half-naked women, and I'm under the influence of alcohol with strobe lights and all that, right? I'm not here trying to toot my own horn or nothing, but I'm not a hard to look at type of man. You know what I mean? So somebody's applying pressure, at least a little bit, if I go to the club. Why would I put myself in that position? And if you're a woman, especially, why would you put yourself in a position? Because one, if you're moderately attractive and you have a vajayjay, somebody's trying to put their hot dog down that hallway. So why would you even give them the opportunity to maybe possibly, even if it's a 0.00001%, why would you give them the opportunity? You shouldn't, because you're in a relationship. And if you're a man, you also should put yourself in a position to where you can cheat on your significant other. But hey, that's just a theory. A me theory.
We do not need men. They are an added bonus and fun in our life, but we are okay being single.
Young lady, respectfully, I'm going to tell you, delete this now while you can. This is not going to age well at all. By the way, the microphone in which you speak on, the microphone in its existence, was invented by a man. But that's besides the point. Again, this is not going to age well. This is like the new trend now. We don't like men. We don't need men. They're just, stop it. Don't follow that. These girls are going to get you in trouble, because I know you saw that somewhere. This is not you thinking for yourself. I highly doubt that. Whenever you make a video and there are more comments than likes, that should be your indication to maybe take that down. You're fighting a losing battle. Respectfully, of course. Sensational.
Why do women promote singleness so much?
Hi, Kevin. I've been following you long enough to know the heart behind the message, so I know it was well intended. However, as a single PhD candidate and financially independent woman, let me provide you some data points that will validate my personal opinion and experience as a single woman. I'll start off by saying that when women are saying that they're choosing singleness, they're not promoting loneliness. They're actually promoting options. And here's why. Historically, women couldn't afford not to partner, because it wasn't until the 1970s where women couldn't even open their own bank accounts without a man. And it actually wasn't until 1974 that we had equal credit access. And it wasn't until 1969 where no-fault divorce was legalized nationwide. And when that happened, we saw a 20% drop in female suicide, because now women could leave harmful marriages safely. You mentioned procreation and companionship as the purpose of humanity. Sure, there's a valid point there. However, partnership needs to feel safe, equitable, and healthy. And unfortunately, the truth is that a lot of women aren't experiencing that. You also said that people think that they can successfully operate solo dolo. And you know what? I absolutely agree with you. We all need community, but community doesn't necessarily have to equal coupling or romantic partnership. Women are actually building communities, networks in places where they feel valued and not drained. Here's another data point. The fastest growing group of entrepreneurs are actually single women, especially women of color. So when women are gaining their financial independence, they are choosing out of alignment and not necessity. So back to your original question, why women are promoting singleness so much? Well, it's because for the first time in history, singleness isn't a punishment. It's a choice and a strategic one, because until partnership feels like partnership and not like parenting or self-abandoning, we don't have to do it. Last thing you mentioned is that the main reason to go outside is to find a partner, but I would offer this. I would say that the main reason to go outside is to live. And if you find love in a partner along the way, beautiful. So if men want women to choose partnership again, let's create relationships that are worth choosing.
Well, I would say, as a PhD student, I think you should have looked at the other side of your argument, which should have been, why are partnerships not working out? Why do women leave at 70%, right? And, you can easily say, well, it's because of, they don't feel like it's equal in the relationship, or they don't feel like this. I feel like I'm parenting. But we do know emotions can play a factor in what you're talking about, right? So, and as a PhD student, you should have been able to, I hope, look at the psychological aspect of relationships. You can say, well, I feel like this is not happening and that's not happening. That's your worldview, until, as we've experienced with both data points as well as testimonials, women getting out of relationships, people in general getting out of relationships and realizing, oh, shoot, I didn't know this person was doing all of that. It don't even have to be in a relationship. You could be at work. You could be at a job and you leave and we can do so much more without you. Oh, we don't need you. But then when you leave, a lot of stuff that you used to do is not getting done. And it's like, oh, shoot, well, we can do this, 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 and this, because they see your job or whatever you're doing at a high level. It isn't until you leave or you're fired, they let you go, that they realize, man, it goes deeper than this, and what about this? I didn't know all of this because it just got done. Nobody ever said anything about it. Nobody ever told us about it. It just got done. And that's where men come in a lot of times, because while you guys are out here running businesses, a lot of the things that you use to get your PhD and run your business and become the fastest growing, you're doing on the back and the hard work of a man. Yeah, I know you don't want to agree with that, right? But that bank that you walk into, a man built that. So it don't matter nothing about I went here and I got an account and this. You're going into a structure that was already established. It was already established, right? You're walking around in a society that's already been established. And essentially what you have is men sitting back and saying, yeah, she should be able to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. But what modern women are doing, and that's why he's saying, why are you promoting singleness and loneliness? They're turning around and biting the hand that fed them. Instead, you don't have to grovel at anybody's feet. You don't have to do that. But you also don't have to trash them and, oh, you ain't nothing. I don't need you, and I'd rather do this, Reel it back in. Oh, I'd rather go 100% than 50-50. We're partners, right? I have some skills. You have some skills. You're talking about primarily financial stuff. I'm talking about a partnership in general, where yes, we both contribute money, but we contribute our skills. Modern women don't see anybody else's stuff but their own. They don't see a man's contribution to the relationship. They only see theirs. And so they say, well, if I'm doing this, and this, then why don't I just do it by myself? And what they try to do is, well, I was getting this, a list of things that they were getting from a man. Well, now I'll lean on my friend for this. I'll lean on my friend for that. I'll lean on my friend for this, and this. And because y'all all have gotten yourself with your bad attitude in this position, then y'all all lean on each other. And when one steps out and decides to go get a man or decides to leave the group because of some sort of argument or whatever, it feels like an issue more than it is, because I was counting on you to be my system. I left my man, my family, all these people because I was counting on you to be my system. And now me and you had a falling out. What am I going to do? Now I have to go through all the hard work of vetting somebody and finding somebody again. That's what I'm saying. Singleness, loneliness, you don't have to promote it. You can be, if that's what you want to do. Sure. But what y'all is essentially what he's talking about is y'all are saying, well, there's not a man that is manly enough. No man is manly enough for me to respect him. Even all of the men around me, right? And we're not talking about, oh, well, I don't get into a relationship with a man, period. Like I'm not talking into a relationship. I'm talking about no man, even the men that are coming in and making your life easier, fixing your stuff, even the next door neighbor, even the next door neighbor's husband who's coming in to fix your stuff. Y'all are saying they don't mean anything. That's the issue.
If you're hosting a singles event in 2026, can you please do better? I've been to several events where it was advertised as a panel at the beginning on dating and relationships, and then afterwards there would be a singles mixer. The problem is the panels usually include married or partnered people. Then when it's time for the mixer, they don't go home. If you just want to have an event and then have a reception afterwards with your panelists and with all the people there, that's fine. But don't advertise this as a singles event and a singles mixer. I've been to multiple events last year where that happened. Literally, one of my friends was on the panel and her boyfriend was with us in the audience. And during the mixer portion, women were chatting him up. And, he's ducking and dodging them and letting them know he's here with her. But it's very confusing for single people who are at singles events to meet single people. Send them relationship folk home.
Well, they're there for your support and they're giving you direction. He came there to support her. So they're going to kind of stick around. You making it seem like he was there trying to deceive you. He's like, no, I'm here with her. No, we're just here. It's kind of like sometimes you go to these events and you have somebody that might not necessarily be doing something, or you might go somewhere. It's for promotion is what it is. Like, say for instance, I understand what you're saying, but it's for promotion. That's what it is. It's for a promotion, right? I have somebody here that's talking about dating and relationships, how to get into a relationship, how to be in a successful one. And what better testimony than to have my boyfriend here. He comes out, we just kind of hang around. If you have any questions, we're just kind of hanging out. You can come up and ask me questions, go mingle. But if you want to ask me a question, then come ask me a question, right? Now, the fact that they saw her boyfriend standing around and they come up to him, hey, how are you? Oh, he's not even single, he's with so-and-so. Y'all talk. So y'all would have known pretty quickly, if he's ducking and dodging, y'all would have known pretty quickly that he had a girlfriend. Some of those women already knew he had a girlfriend, but they just wanted to come up and talk to him and mingle with him anyway because he seemed safe. So let's not put this on the hosts too much. Let's put this on a little bit on the women that already knew what was up, but they wanted to go over there and talk to him anyway.
Okay, so I recently went to a singles event and it was 90% women. And I was wondering, where's all the dudes? I don't know, but they're not there. And that's cool, not like I care.
If a man can't spend $75 or $100 on a first date, he just shouldn't be dating. If a man wants to take you on a walk or go for coffee on the first date, say no thanks and move on. And what do women commonly do to get ready for a first date, especially? New outfit, nails done, hair done, maybe buy some new makeup or perfume or jewelry. Jesse, it's not about the money. On the first few dates, it is. On every date moving forward, it is. When I was in my mid-20s, I think I was 25, a guy wanted to take me to the dog park for our first date because we both had dogs. I said, I'm not going to the dog park on our first date. And so he said, okay, well, what do you want to do? And in my head, I'm like, I'm already planning and we haven't even gone on the first date. So I said, You think about it and get back to me. And he never got back to me. Either he didn't like me enough, or he thought that taking me out to eat was too much money, was too much effort, or he didn't have the money to take me out to dinner. Either way, not for me.
Men listen to this and then you wonder why they are just done with dating. Because why does he have to go all out on the first date when the purpose of the first date is to see if you even like each other? And for me personally, as the woman, I never put in much effort into the first date. Meaning my hair and makeup was the same that I had already done for the day. And the new dress in my closet, I didn't wear that until date number 5 or 6 that my fiance took me on. That was the expensive dinner date. And we threw some axes. My honest opinion is that women that demand these things on the first date, there's a reason for it. And unfortunately, it's because she doesn't typically make it to the second.
If I was a guy, I'd be so scared to be in a relationship in America because they are willing to be traditional, but the women are not. And they get nothing in return for their money, their time, or their resources. And the girl ends up cheating or not willing to cook or make a sandwich. And it's just, I'm so happy I'm not a man.
The reason that you have a lot of these guys now saying that they don't want to be in relationships and they don't want to date and it's not worth it to them is just because it's like, I'm giving you what you're asking for. I'm giving you what you say you need. And then when it comes to me asking for what I need, you're just like, no, right? You're just not willing to do it.
Women, when we are intimate with our husbands, we think it's for him. We're wrong. It's not for him. It's for us. It's to have a healthy relationship and marriage. Husbands, when you watch the kids or do chores around the house, you think it's for her. You're wrong. It's for both of you. It's so that your wife can have some time to herself to relax.
Isn't it weird that back in the day, people waited to have sex until they got married? Now, everyone dives right in, and then once they actually get married, there's no more intimacy. Riddle me that. Why does that happen? Why is this happening?
Ladies, I hear this all the time, okay? I don't feel in the mood anymore. I'm sending out the official message. It's not how your body works. You are not going to feel aroused in the same way that you did at the beginning of the relationship. So you have to act on intimate engagement before arousal starts. Your partner can help you with this. But if you are waiting around to feel something in order to get something started, you're going to end up in a relationship where there's no intimacy. And guys, we all need it, but guys need it. They need it. So
Is a dead bedroom inevitable in long-term relationships? I was in a relationship for 12 years, and for like 7 years of that relationship, our bedroom was dead. We were not being intimate anymore. The last like 5 years of that relationship, we weren't even sleeping in the same bed. So now it is like a crippling fear of mine moving forward into a long-term relationship with the thought that like at some point we're going to stop like finding each other attractive, finding each other sexy, and like the bedroom's just going to die. That point where you just become like kind of friends and roommates is my fucking worst nightmare, and I have lived it. Now it's a fear that like I take into future relationships, into people that I'm dating.
I asked a bunch of girls, when was the last time a man approached you at a bar and started talking to you? And I thought this was just me thing, but they were all like, no, it hasn't happened in, I can't even tell you how long, like before COVID. And I thought that was a me experience. I was like, okay, maybe I give off like a standoffish vibe. I don't know. I don't think so. But no, they all agreed. They're like, I can't tell you the last time a man tried to talk to me at a bar. A man tried to offer to buy me a drink. Do men still do that? Men, can you weigh in? And I don't even need the drink, but like the last time, and I'll go up and talk to guys, but like, can someone explain?
Ladies keep asking this, but when are you going to realize that there are consequences to your words and actions? It's because men would rather keep to themselves than to be called a creep, or at the very least be publicly embarrassed, or at worst be accused of something. A lot of women do not realize that because of social media, a lot of young men believe that women despise them. Between the 4B movement, the it's all men until no men, and picking the bear over the man, because of this, most of them assume that women genuinely want nothing to do with them.
Gentlemen,
If you're in your 40s and you're single, your dating value market is at an all-time high. And I'm not saying this just to hype you up, but I have spoken to a lot of my clients who are 40 plus and they don't see their own value. Here are some problems that I see. Number one, you focused on your increasing age when the woman hasn't. If you're young at heart, you can be 70 and still find a catch. In therapy, I call this a limiting self-belief or age excuses, to be blunt. Secondly, you're over 40, but you're just done with all the BS. You have just been through so much that now you have this overreactive BS radar. And lastly, if you're 40, single, unmarried, or divorced, women will wonder if you are traumatized. Make sure you call it out and set your intentions clearly and confidently.
And I think a lot of men realize that. It's just, you get to a point to where you just be tired, you're mentally tired, just drained. And that mental drain, that mental pull on you shifts or it trickles down to your body. And you're like, yeah, man, I just feel like going to the gym. I feel like going to get something to eat, meal prep, working on my business, just relaxing, enjoying my peace, enjoying my time, without somebody messing around and lying and hollering in my face and laughing loud in the other room and all that other stuff, products all over my sink and all that other nonsense that you have to. I know a lot of women talk about what they have to deal with living with a man. But there's a lot of stuff that men have to deal with when living with a woman.
Because when I walked in, it was packed. And what do you think I saw? What do you think I saw?
What did you see?
Exactly what I thought I was going to see.
What?
80 women sitting alone. No men.
All right, so I've spoken about this before, like why men don't prefer to go to these social dating events, stuff like that, right? I'll just get straight to the point. It's a couple reasons why. Think about it. A lot of people in general get their impression of others through the internet, right? They do. So the idea of what women want, what men want, what this person wants, what that person wants. A lot of the times, what is, projected through algorithms or whatever, that most women want on the internet. I'm not going to say most, a lot of them, but this is what's pushed. A lot of the men that fit the requirements of what is normally expressed, as being desirable on the internet, those men already have their pick of the litter, right? They already had their pick of the litter. So why would they pay their money to go to a place when they already had their pick of the litter? In their mind, it's a horrible investment. On the other side, you got the men that feel like they're not as desirable, right? Because of what is expressed online or what is expressed in passing. They feel like they're not as desirable. So why would they pay money to go to an event where in their minds they're going to be rejected? That's, once again, a horrible investment. And then you got the alternatives like, okay, you might have one of them Casanovas or whatever who are messing with multiple women in the same city or something like that, so they just don't want to be caught up. But largely it's due to the first two. The men that everyone expresses that they want online, right? Or, in passing or in public spaces, they already had their pick of the litter. The men that feel like they do not fit those requirements or feel like, they're not going to want me. Why would they buy a ticket? Why would they buy a ticket? You're taking the idea of something, right? The idea of rejection and all that. And instead of doing a slow roast of it, which people normally do online and stuff like that, you're going to a central hub and you're getting punched in the face with it. That's what some of these men believe. Okay. So that's really what it is. That's really what it is. And, yeah, I hope it helps, but yeah. What do you guys think? Let me know.
Hey, I'm Noah. Nice to meet you.
Not interested.
Damn, all right.
Guess I'll just call my girlfriend then. Wait, I'm sorry. You trying to come back to my place? Look at that guy. He's so chow.
Could you guys please be quiet? I'm on the phone with my girlfriend right now.
Wait, low key, I want to get his number.
A man of average attractiveness has to swipe right 200 times to get one coffee, and then 4 of those 5 coffees will ghost him. You can't tell women to lower their expectations, but this is the reality. When you ask a man if you could have a woman who had 80% of everything you wanted, 75% say, yeah, I'm on board. When you say to a woman, a man has 80% of what you want, 75% say that's not enough. But even look at the media. What does the media tell a woman to do? He's out, but he didn't open your door. He's not nice to his parents. Walk right out on that man. Every piece of media is, you don't need him. You're a strong, independent woman.
Should she look a certain way?
Well, I work out. I'm
You do
not
what?
super fit. I work out. I'm not physically super 100%, like in that math, that super chiseled frame, but I really don't want something that's super, super heavy. I just don't like super heavy because I can't lift you up. If I can't lift you up, I'm not really making your day. Yeah, Kendra, I don't want something I can't lift up. I mean, for real. I'm cheating them out of a good time. At least be about 175 or lower. And then we could have a good time. Is that too much to ask for?
So weigh as much as one of your arms.
No, I mean, 175 isn't really, that's not too big. Let's do the Kendra cam.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
So at first, when I was looking at this, I was thinking, kind of the same thing everybody else is thinking, right? And I know she wants to, kind of make jokes, which I get it. But he was saying, no women who weigh more than 175 pounds. So essentially, an average woman, say for instance, as 5'3", 5'4", somewhere around there, then she's at 175, she's obese, medically speaking. You know what I mean? Like, she's overweight at, I think, 144 to 144 to 175, basically. And, different body types, you wear your weight differently, and muscle and all that other stuff. But he's essentially saying, she could be obese. And I know he's saying no more than 175. But if she was like 190, she was like probably about 190, 200 might be pushing it. But if she was like 190, I think, and she was like good, she could cook, she was pretty, he'd be all right with that. He'd be all right with that, definitely. But like I said, once you like start to actually look at what he's asking for, I don't know if it's that big of a stretch. But for TV and stuff like that, and for all of this other stuff, it's a good joke because dude is big, so you got to make the joke, right? But if you actually look at 170, 175, what he's asking for is not outlandish.
I know a lot of men who don't shoot their shot
because of fear of rejection.
And not just fear of rejection. If I shoot my shot and she says no, then I'm going to be the talk of conversation with her and her friends.
I mean, you've been to talk.
They can talk, but then what that does now is the talking leading you to see the person different now.
So
like they'll be treated differently.
Yes. That was the thing that popped in my head. I've heard so many men say they will not approach women because women talk too much. They don't want to date inside of the church because every single time they dated inside the church, every single woman knew about their business. I had one moral failure in this relationship.
Right.
And now my character is painted in such a way. A lot of women who are let down or whatever, they don't have the emotional maturity to not slander that man. The reality is that men are just as fragile as a lot of women. We're human beings, you know what I'm saying? And so sometimes rejection needs a complimentary sandwich. You let a man down in a way that is not respectful, you will create Andrew Tate.
Jesus.
In the same way, men should handle women with gentleness and care. Women
do the same thing.
Don't stroke his ego, but don't disrespect him in the rejection.
I see why men are staying single because look around. We have women out here bragging about not cooking, not cleaning, not taking care of their home, not being soft, and not being supportive. And then expecting a man to show up as a provider, leader, planner, protector, and lover, while giving him absolutely nothing in return. And yes, I will be the one to say it. A home needs a woman who actually enjoys being a woman. A woman who takes pride in making her home feel warm and peaceful. A woman who loves her man in the same way that she wants to be loved. That is not oppression, that is care. Men are tired of being treated like a walking wallet, tired of disrespect, tired of begging for affection and a little peace. So, they are choosing to stay single, not because they hate women, but because they are looking for a woman that values her role just as much as his. And honestly, I don't blame them, because relationships only work when both people show up and give.
You know what's actually crazy, bro? The most evil men are never single, bro. Because I'm talking about, they be abusive, they be cheating, they be moving very, very grimy towards females, gang. And for most of the time, their priorities is not straight at all. I'm telling you, because I know a few dudes that's like this, bro. And it's like a way they do things, it attracts a certain type of woman, bro. I'm not saying they get like better quality women, but it's not bad. They be pulling. But it's still evil and bad, bro. And you would think a good guy will attract a good woman, bro, but that's never the case. So it's like they are single, but they're never alone. Trust me. So don't believe when a female says, I have standards, but whole time they will stick around with these types of men because they think they can fix him. But honestly, though, it's really just a lack of self-respect.
Why do you think introverted men stay single?
Introverted men stay single because they don't leave the house. And they don't like to leave the house. And when they do leave the house, they're so used to being by themselves that whenever they're in like a social situation, they tend to overthink too much. They get a lot of social anxiety. And so then you talk to them and you're like, oh my God, like, has this person spoken to anybody in like weeks? A lot of introverted guys can be very attractive, but they just need to get out of the house a little bit more. And if they don't want to get out of the house, that's something that they've got to figure out. Okay, what is it? What's the barriers that are preventing me from being social with people, from actually walking up and talking to somebody? Okay. Let's remove those barriers. Let's make it an environment where we actually want to talk to another person, because sometimes introverted guys they never have the inclination to leave the house because nothing excites them. Let's figure out ways that we can do that, where we can meet people in an environment that you actually enjoy. Most guys pick the wrong environments to go to. They think they need to go to like a loud ass club, but you don't have to go to those places to meet a woman. There are plenty of other places you can go to. Yeah, there's tons of reason, but I'd say not leaving the house and overthinking way too much when they actually do talk to somebody.
It's always like, guys, you guys straighten up. You need to fix yourselves for us. You know what, guys? Start saying, hey, ladies, you see we're not approaching? Straighten up. You need to be better women for us, or we're just not interested. I love it.
So, I'm 43, single, never been married, have no children, although I greatly desire both. Definitely did not think that I would still be 43 and single. And maybe you can relate. Sometimes unexpected things happen in life. Sometimes it's a bad decision, a bad choice that we made as to why it hasn't happened yet. But regardless, I want to invite you to join me to the Thriving in Singlehood conference that will be happening in Southern California next June, specifically designed for Christian single men and Christian single women. It's 2 full days of one of the most impactful experiences you will have. You're going to get all kinds of goodies that are going to come along with it, but breakfast and lunch will be provided. We're going to have such in-depth teaching, impactful teaching. It's going to encourage you, challenge you, and I want to meet you because I know we can relate. So click the link, sign up today, and I hope to see you at the Thriving in Singlehood conference.
Women only want to date at their convenience, maybe. How about instead of going to an event for dating, you simply approach a man you like that isn't already in a relationship? I asked the internet, why don't men go to dating events like speed dating, singles events, mixers, all that kind of stuff? Now, to be fair, I did have a little tongue-in-cheek action with my post by saying, why y'all don't go to these events? Y'all scared or something? And the truth is that, like, you could be scared. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm scared. I haven't been to a speed dating event to participate. I've gone to cover it as an influencer. But as an introvert, the idea of going to those social settings and then mixing it in with dating, It scares me. But kudos to the people who actually do it, both men and women, because they want to try. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the comments were unhelpful. We have better things to do than to be analyzed by gold-digging narcissists. Means you are all invaluable, worthless liabilities. Y'all hate men so much. Got me wondering, why not date and marry women? Good riddance. And my thing is, I know that this isn't all men. I know that there are still good men out there who actually love and respect themselves and love and respect women. And even more so, love and respect Black women. Because not everybody does, right? And so I know that this is not all men, and I'm not going to internalize this or generalize this. Howsoever, the ones who I definitely strongly recommend try Jesus and a therapist, and not me. Y'all make it real hard for the ones that are good. Y'all make it real hard for the ones that are not bitter, but who are better. I would love to hear, again, more constructive, helpful feedback on how people who put on speed dating events or singles mixers can make them a little more interesting for both men and women who are trying to find themselves in hetero relationships. As for me, I'm going to just keep going to therapy, drinking my water, minding my business, and loving myself. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all really do hate women. And I hate that for y'all. I really do. Some of y'all really hate Black women, and I hate that for y'all. That sucks for you. It really does. But I love you. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. And I hope that you have a good day and find peace. And really, I really strongly suggest y'all try therapy. I do. Okay, bye.
Well, aside from men being rude, I think a lot of men just feel like, or have experienced a lot of women who have been just downright stupid. I'm thinking of the woman the other day. I think I was reviewing her video, and essentially what she did is ignored a man that rode up to her on a bike. She was skating, and I guess she was skating across the street or something like that. She was crossing the street, and he rolled up to her on his bike, and he said, "Hey, is it easier to get around on those things versus getting around on a bike?" And instead of saying anything, like anything, "Oh no, yeah, well, I really don't know. I really don't ride bikes. Oh, I don't want to be bothered." And so I didn't say anything to him. I just looked right past him. And he kept on trying to talk to me, and he got frustrated with me because, I just didn't say anything to him. I just kept on ignoring him and looking right past him. That's rude. Not only is it rude, it's disrespectful. Not only is it disrespectful, it's humiliating the man, which is what she meant to do. You don't even know the man. The man don't know you. You were just coming up to you to start a conversation. That's it. That's it. Well, men do this and men do that. And what if a man said that about a woman? What if a man felt that way about a woman? And y'all get mad when men don't help you because you're rude, right? Y'all always want a man to be a gentleman. But when men are gentlemen to these modern women, they treat them with disrespect. And so now men are saying, "Nah, I'm not coming out the house for that. I'm not going to be around that." "Oh, well, you could be a little nicer when you say it." I'm saying it as nicely as possible. I'm not coming out the house. I don't want to be around that. I think that's negative energy. I'm not going to do it.